I watched the first episode of Stranger Things season 5 without rewatching the previous 4 seasons before starting it. Today is Monday, December 1st. I will state that I did watch the Dead Meat Kill Count for season 4 on Saturday, the 29th. So I got a little bit of a recap from that, but I did skip the recap that Netflix puts up before the episode because I didn't feel like putting 4 minutes of my time when I was about to put an hour and 10 minutes of my time through watching this. So that was my decision. I wasn't really that confused or lost though. I don't know. I felt like I would probably be more confused, but I'm like, nah. It seems fine for the most part, so it wasn't that bad. Overall, I really liked the episode. I really liked the intro with like a young Will who didn't look shittily CGI'd, so I don't know if they just cast a younger actor who looks a lot like him or they just had really great CGI for the episode, but I thought that that worked really well and just sort of the way that it was set up, it was uncomfortable, but I think it's supposed to be where he's like being fed essentially what I'm assuming is like demogorgon slugs to like reproduce demogorgons or something like that. So I thought that was interesting. I will state there's no way in hell he jumped from one tree to another and then fell without breaking at least several bones. Um, I thought that was a little unrealistic, uh, but it was interesting. It's I don't know. My thing with Stranger Things is that there are a lot of characters, and I think they did a really good job of like showing snippets of each of them in this episode. I think it worked, but it slows down the pacing a little bit, and if I remember correctly, it does it in the previous season too. Like season 4 is a lot of like, let's see what these characters are up to now, and it's not as like dragging as that because I don't hate so far any of the plots. I think they're all interesting. Some of them seem really repetitive though, which I find annoying. Like the way that Hopper is treating Elle, at least in the first episode, is the way that he treats her in season 2, where he's like preventing her from doing things and like trying to hide her and like we all know that it's to protect her but like it's just making her frustrated and it's like well the last time he did that, she ran away. So like I don't understand why he's gone back to this tactic of being like, you can't help me, like you can't do this, and like we get it. Like she probably isn't strong enough to defeat Vecna yet, but like it is kind of like, have you learned nothing, sir, since season 2 when she ran away to go find a long lost sister and her mom? Um, so I don't know. I thought that was interesting. And my other I wouldn't say it's a repetition, but it's a gripe that I knew was gonna come, and I still hate it. Is the love triangle between Jonathan and Steve and Nancy? I don't want it. I don't want it. I know that a lot of people don't want it. Like Steve is too good for Nancy, and I think at the same time, like he needs to find himself a little bit more. He relies too much on other people, especially Dustin. I think he's like worked himself better through that, like throughout the seasons. Like he definitely has become like a better person through it, and he like for the most part knows what he wants. But I think in a way, he's still kind of holding himself back from it. But like Nancy knows what she wants, and Steve and Jonathan are not in the picture for what she wants and needs. And I find it obnoxious that they've like gone back to this like annoying love triangle from season 1. Like it's unnecessary. And then Jonathan is the like jealous boyfriend. I'm like, it's annoying. Just stop. I don't like it. Um, on things that I did like the inclusion of Holly and like her new story. That I will say, I think that actress is way too old to be playing whatever age she's supposed to be. I think Holly's supposed to be like 7 or something like that. Like she's in school now. But that actress looks way older than 7. Um, which like I noticed from last season because I think Nancy points out that she's like 5 or something like that, and I was like, there's no way in hell that actress is 5 years old. Um, but I liked that. I think, I mean, she's the only sibling within like the group of people who like is not as involved, or like has had any screen time. She's just kind of been like the baby in the background, and I sort of like that she has like her own story now of like a mysterious imaginary friend that may or may not exist, but also she's like starting to get invited into the party now with like Mike giving her the like Dungeons and Dragons uh like figurine and stuff like that, and I liked that bit about it where it's like, I don't know, I think it's interesting. Is it unnecessary to bring in another character when we have so many? Absolutely, but I think it's fine for the most part. Another thing that I liked was the way that they handled Hawkins, especially because at the beginning I was a little confused. I was like, why does the Byers, or not the Byers, why does the Wheeler's house look so normal? Didn't Hawkins get absolutely destroyed last season? It's like, oh, they all live in like a military like encampment because they're all quarantined because who knows what kind of radioactive nonsense is coming out of the Upside Down. So I thought that was really interesting, and that like they're essentially being run by the military, and Robin's sending out codes through Diana Ross songs to like get people to meet at certain times and figure out when they're like going into the Upside Down and things like that. And I thought that was really interesting, and like good for Robin, and like having a job like that. She seems to be very much in her element, and I love that for her. I love that she officially has a girlfriend now. I think she's gonna fuck that relationship up, from just having to keep so many secrets, but I'm happy for her that she finally has the girlfriend that she needs. Um, and I'm glad about that. I'm very sad for Will and his lack of a boyfriend, but also like he doesn't need Mike. Mike's a piece of shit. Uh, but I do think from the scene of him like catching Robin making out with her girlfriend, I hope that they like end up bonding over being gays together. I think that would be very fun since I don't think they've ever really interacted with each other before. So I think that would be a really interesting way to talk to each other and interact and stuff like that. And I think that would be an interesting subplot for the show to go with. So I like that. One thing that I thought was interesting was the angsty Dustin. I'm here for it. I mean, rightfully so. I feel like he's sort of been the like goofball, so it was kind of an interesting 180 for him to be like the angsty putting snakes in somebody's locker kind of guy. But like, I'm kind of here for it. Um, like I understand like people treated Eddie like shit, and then of course everyone still blames him for everybody's deaths and stuff like that. So like he has every right to be angsty all the time, but he very much is doing it in a sort of Max way where he doesn't tell anybody else for the most part, or like he's just like lashing out. And I think, I mean, from like seeing at the end of the episode, it's like he went to the grave and got the shit beat out of him, and so nobody knows where he's at. So I think like it's gonna cause issues for everybody involved, which like makes sense. Like it's probably gonna be a part of the plot points, but I think it's an interesting side to Dustin that I'm kind of curious to see about, just from like, turning from the goofball to like an angsty kid who wants to tell all the frat boy basketball players to fuck off, and I'm here for it. I thought that was really interesting. Also thought that like the weird, I mean, we've all known that Will's had like a connection to the Upside Down since essentially season one, but that like it's actually finally become more of a plot point than getting goosebumps every once in a while. I kind of like that. Like he has a connection to the Demogorgons, and I think that's really interesting. I'm curious to see like how Vecna's going to use Will to destroy the world. I'm very curious to see how that goes. But I thought that was really a really interesting thing to add in towards the end, and I have many questions that I'm sure we'll get answers, but like overall, I thought it was a really interesting first episode. I was kind of skeptical just because I'm a little over Stranger Things. Like I started watching Stranger Things when I was in high school, so like 9 years ago, and I'm like we've got 5 seasons in however long it's been since the show actually came out, which is like too long, and I'm like over it. I'm like it's ridiculous how long it's taking to make this show. So I was like a little over it, being like, whatever, it's a final season, I'll finish it. But I am excited to watch the next episodes. I think that they'll be really interesting. I mean, I think my only true complaint so far about like the logistics of the season is that these episodes are too damn long. I don't have the time for that. Like that is exhausting to dedicate so much time to it. And I think it would be easier if the episodes were shorter. I think you could still do that, but like they're not going to. But like, was it the last episode of season 4 was like 2 hours long, which is a ridiculous runtime for an episode of a show. And I fear that they're gonna keep doing that with this season, and it's just I hate it. It's ridiculous. I'm like, please make your episodes shorter, and maybe I would watch them in a timely manner. um, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this review. I will get to the other episodes when I have the willpower and brain capacity to watch them and record about them. Bye.